Well, members of the disabled community will tell you that it's actually pretty difficult if you're disabled trying to utilize public transport. In fact, a number of disabled persons have shared their stories with ZNS News about the ill treatment they receive from bus drivers who they claim either pass them straight on the bus stops or are very insensitive to their special needs. And with public buses ill-equipped to accept riders in wheelchairs, it's a strenuous task for members of the disabled community to move about town. But the proposed equal opportunities legislation for persons with disabilities, if made law, is about to change that. Social Services Minister Melanie Griffin says one of the main features of the legislation, which will come to Parliament in mid to late February, allows for better access to transportation. As a matter of fact, the legislation will cause for the establishment of a commission that will deal directly with such features.
One of the main features of the legislation is the provisions for a commission, and that commission will be mandated to initiate discussions with the ministry responsible for transport with regard to the provision of public transportation or transportation for persons with disabilities. Also, as a part of this commission, persons with disabilities will serve on this commission, and so they will have a direct input into the work of the commission and into what happens on their behalf.
Now, wider consultation on the proposed legislation begins tomorrow with a town meeting at St. Joseph's Catholic Church Hall on Boyd Road at 7 p.m., where members of the public will be able to provide input and give feedback on the proposed law. The Social Services Minister says at the top of her agenda is fostering what she calls disability inclusive development.
I want Bahamians to etch it on the walls of their minds that wherever a building or a public building is to be designed, they ought to include, their thoughts ought to always focus on whether or not the building is disabled friendly. So their persons with disabilities have to be included. You may have a ramp going up to a building, but when I reach the door, there's a step that my wheelchair can't get into, and so we have to always be thinking that whatever we do, we have a large number of our population who requires that we don't forget them.